Hello and welcome. I'm Victor, and I'm so happy you're here with me today on Daily English Lab Podcast. Do you ever feel a little stuck? Maybe your daily routine feels boring, and studying English feels like a total chore. You want to feel excited about learning again, but you just can't find the inspiration. One day feels exactly like the next. You sit down to study, you open your book, and you feel tired before you even start. The words don't seem interesting, the grammar rules feel complicated, and speaking feels, well, impossible. If this sounds like you, please know you are not alone. This is a very common feeling for English learners, for students, for everyone. Life can sometimes feel like it's on repeat, and it's hard to find the energy to try new things. But today, we're going to change that. This isn't just another English lesson. This is a chance to find new energy. In today's listening practice, we're going to explore a powerful skill, creativity. I'll share simple, practical tips that will not only make your daily life more exciting, but will also bring new energy to your English learning journey. This journey is for you. It's designed to help you listen, understand, and feel more confident. We have a clear plan for our time together. Think of it as a roadmap to feeling more inspired. First, we'll explore what creativity really is. It might be different from what you think. Then, we'll look at the things that stop us from being creative. We'll identify these creativity blockers and learn how to face them. After that, I'll share a bunch of practical tips and simple exercises you can start using today to bring more creativity into your life. These are not big, difficult tasks. They're small, fun activities that can make a huge difference. This isn't just about becoming an artist or a writer. It's about learning to see the world with fresh eyes. It's about finding new ways to solve problems. And most importantly, it's about making your English practice feel like a fun adventure again, not a difficult task. So, get comfortable, relax, and let's unlock your creativity together. When you hear the word creativity, what comes to mind? For many of us, the first thought is of famous artists like Picasso with his paintings, or musicians like Mozart with his beautiful sonatas. We think of writers who create incredible stories, or filmmakers who build entire worlds on screen. And yes, these are all wonderful examples of creativity, but that's only one small part of the picture. Creativity is much bigger and much more personal than that. Let's use a simpler definition. Creativity is the ability to see things in a new way. It's about recognizing ideas or possibilities that can be useful. Useful for what? For solving problems, for communicating with people, and for making our lives more interesting and fun. Think of the word creativity less like to make and more like to grow. When we're creative, we're growing. We feel more alive. So, creativity isn't something that only a few special people have. It's not a magical gift you're born with or without. The truth is, everyone can be creative. We are all born creative. Just think about children. They are creativity experts. They find new ways to play with simple toys. They invent stories and build castles from sand. A famous study once tested the creativity of 1,600 children. At age 5, 98% of them scored at a genius level for creative thinking. But as we get older, we sometimes forget how. We learn rules, we build routines, we start to worry about being right or wrong. Creativity isn't just about art. It's about everyday actions. You're being creative when you cook a meal and decide to try a new spice. You're being creative when you have a problem at work and you think of a new way to solve it. You're being creative when you reorganize your room and find a better place for your books. It's about using your imagination to do something new or different. It's about making connections between ideas that seem completely separate. Let's think of some examples of everyday creativity. Imagine you're planning a trip with friends, brainstorming different places to go, thinking about fun activities, and finding ways to travel on a budget. All of that is a creative process. Or think about telling a story to a friend. When you choose your words to make the story exciting or funny, you're using your creativity. Even in your English studies, creativity is happening all the time. When you don't know a word and you use your hands or describe it with other words to communicate your idea, you're being creative. When you write a simple sentence about your day, you're creating something new. Language itself is a creative act. We take our thoughts and we transform them into words so that other people can understand us. So, I want you to change your thinking. Tell yourself this: I am a creative person. Because it's true. Creativity is not a rare talent. It's a skill. And like any skill, you can practice it. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. In this lesson, we'll learn how to exercise that muscle every day. Remember, creativity isn't about being perfect. It's about being open, curious, and willing to try. It's about seeing the world not just as it is, but as it could be. It's about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Now that we have a better idea of what creativity is, let's talk about why it's so important. Why should you, an English learner, spend time thinking about it? The benefits are huge, both for your personal life and for your language journey. First, let's think about life in general. Creativity helps you solve problems. Creative people don't just see roadblocks, they see opportunities. When you face a challenge, a creative mind can see different paths to a solution. This skill is incredibly valuable in every part of your life, from your job to your personal relationships. For example, if you have a disagreement with a friend, a creative approach might help you find a new way to communicate and understand their side of things. Creativity also improves your well-being. It can reduce stress and make you feel happier. When you're doing something creative, you're often focused on the present moment. This is a form of mindfulness. You forget about your worries for a little while. Making something, whether it's a drawing, a story, or a new plan for your garden, gives you a sense of accomplishment. This can boost your self-esteem and confidence. When you see what you're able to create, you feel better about yourself. It makes life feel more interesting and full of possibilities. Now, let's connect this directly to learning English. This is where creativity becomes your superpower. First, creativity makes learning more fun. Let's be honest, studying grammar rules from a textbook can be boring sometimes. But what if you used those grammar rules to write a funny short story? Or what if you practiced new vocabulary by creating a rap or a poem? When you use creative methods, you are actively involved in your learning. You're not just a passive student, you're a creator. This change in mindset can make studying feel like playing, which helps you stay motivated. Second, creativity helps you communicate more effectively, especially when you have a limited vocabulary. This is all about thinking outside the box. When you're in a conversation and you forget a word, what do? Maybe you use your hands to show the action. Maybe you draw a picture. Maybe you describe the word using other words you know. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you might say, "the thing you use to stay dry when it rains." This is a creative solution to a communication problem, and it makes you a more flexible and confident speaker. Third, creativity deepens your understanding of the language. English isn't just a list of words and grammar rules. It's connected to culture, humor, and emotion. Creative exercises like writing stories or role-playing help you understand these deeper parts of the language. They help you develop a feel for its rhythm and music. Fourth, creativity boosts your memory. When you learn something in a creative way, you're more likely to remember it. Imagine you need to learn 10 new vocabulary words. You could just read the list 10 times. Or you could create a strange and funny story that uses all 10 words. Which method do you think will work better? The story, of course. The story creates strong connections in your brain, making the words much easier to recall. So, being creative isn't a distraction from your English studies. It's at the heart of it. It will help you solve problems, communicate better, remember more, and, most importantly, enjoy the journey. It's the key to transforming your practice from a chore into an adventure. We've talked about what creativity is and why it's so important. We all have this amazing ability inside us. So, why does it sometimes feel so hard to be creative? Why do we feel stuck? The reason is that we all face creativity blockers. These are like walls that stand between us and our ideas. They can be feelings, habits, or beliefs. Understanding these blockers is the first step to breaking them down. Let's look at some of the most common ones. As I describe them, see if any of them sound familiar. Blocker 1. The fear of making mistakes. This is probably the biggest creativity blocker of all. We want everything we do to be perfect. We're afraid that if we try something new, we'll fail. We worry that people will laugh at us or criticize us. When you're learning English, this fear can be really strong. You might be afraid to speak because you think your grammar is bad or your pronunciation isn't perfect. This fear stops creativity before it can even start. Creativity needs freedom. It needs the freedom to be messy, to be weird, and to be wrong. Mistakes aren't the enemy of creativity. They are a necessary part of the process. Every great invention and every beautiful painting was built on a foundation of mistakes. When you're too focused on being perfect, you can't move forward. The solution? Change how you think about mistakes. See them as learning opportunities, not failures. Give yourself permission to be imperfect. Blocker 2. The comfort of routine. Our daily routines are comfortable. They make life predictable. We wake up at the same time, we eat the same breakfast, we take the same route to work. Routines aren't bad, but they can put your creativity to sleep. When you do the same things every day, your brain goes on autopilot. It doesn't need to think in new ways. Creativity loves new experiences and new points of view. If you always stay in your comfort zone, you won't find new inspiration. To break this block, you need to gently shake up your routine. It doesn't have to be a big change. Even a small change can wake up your brain and help you see things differently. Blocker 3. The pressure of stress and busyness. Ever feel completely overwhelmed? Your to-do list is a mile long. You have deadlines and you feel like you have no time for yourself. When you're stressed and tired, your brain doesn't have the extra energy for creative thinking. It's focused on survival, not on exploration. Burnout, which comes from too much stress over a long time, is a huge creativity killer. It can feel impossible to be creative when you're overwhelmed. The key is to find small moments of peace and play. You can't force creativity when you're stressed. Instead, you need to give your mind a break. This could be through a short walk, some exercise, or just doing something you enjoy. Blocker 4. The voice of self-doubt. Inside many of us, there's a little voice, an inner critic. This voice tells us that we're not good enough. It says, "You're not a creative person," or "That's a stupid idea, don't even try." If you listen to this voice, you start to believe it and you stop trying. This blocker is based on a lie. As we discussed, creativity isn't a special talent for a few people. It's a natural human ability. Everyone has it. To fight this inner critic, you need to challenge these negative thoughts. Allow yourself to generate ideas without judging them right away. You can also practice positive self-talk. Instead of saying, "I'm not creative," try saying, "I'm exploring my creativity." Blocker 5. The habit of overthinking. Sometimes we're too smart for our own good. We overthink things. We analyze every detail. We try to have a perfect plan before we even start. We get so caught up in thinking about the right way to do something that we never actually do it. To overcome overthinking, you need to just start. Don't be afraid to take action, even if you don't have a clear plan. Experimentation is often the best way to find something original. Give yourself a time limit. For example, tell yourself you'll brainstorm ideas for only 10 minutes, and you'll write down everything that comes to mind without stopping to analyze. This can help you get past the paralysis of overthinking. Recognizing these blockers is a huge step. The next time you feel stuck, ask yourself, is it fear? Is it my routine? Am I too stressed? Is it my inner critic? Or am I overthinking? Once you identify the blocker, you can choose the right strategy to break through it. We've explored what creativity is, why it's important, and what stops it. Now for the fun part, the action plan. How can we actively build our creative muscle every day? I'm going to share several simple, practical tips. I want you to listen and think about which one or two you can try this week. You don't have to do all of them. Start small. The goal is to just begin. Tip 1. Keep an idea journal. This is one of the most powerful habits you can build. An idea journal is simply a notebook and pen that you carry with you. You can also use an app on your phone, but many people find that writing by hand is more powerful. Your journal is a safe space for your thoughts. It's not for writing perfect essays. It's for capturing ideas, observations, and questions. See something interesting on your way to work? Write it down. Hear a funny conversation? Write it down. Have a weird dream? Write it down. Get a sudden idea for a story? Write it down immediately.
We often have great ideas, but they disappear if we don't record them. How does this help your creativity and your English? First, it trains you to be more observant. You start paying more attention to the world, which is a great source of inspiration. For your English practice, this is amazing. You can write down new English words you hear. You can practice writing sentences about your day. You can even try to write a 6-word story. A famous one is, "For sale, baby shoes never worn." Try writing your own. It's a fun challenge. Tip 2. Change your routine. Like we said, routines can kill creativity. The solution is simple. Consciously change one small thing in your daily routine. This forces your brain to wake up from autopilot and make new connections. What can you change? It can be super simple. Take a different route home. Listen to a new kind of music. Try a new food for breakfast. If you always study English at your desk, try studying in a park or a coffee shop. Brush your teeth with your other hand. It feels strange, but it forces your brain to work in a new way.
For your English learning, change your study routine. If you always use a textbook, try watching a movie in English. If you always use a flashcard app, try having a real conversation with a language partner. By changing how you learn, you expose yourself to the language in new ways. Tip 3. Give yourself creative constraints. This might sound weird. How can rules make you more creative? It works because limits force you to think differently and find clever solutions. When you have endless options, it can be overwhelming. But when you have a specific challenge, your brain has a fun problem to solve. Here are some examples for your English practice. Try writing a short story without using the letter E. This is hard, but it forces you to search for different words. Or try to have a 5-minute conversation with a friend where you can't use the words I, me, or my. This challenges you to describe things from a different perspective. Another idea is a time limit. Give yourself just 5 minutes to write down as many solutions as possible to a problem. These kinds of games are a fantastic workout for your creative brain. Tip 4. Ask what if. Curiosity is the engine of creativity. A great way to fuel your curiosity is to constantly ask what if. This question opens up a world of possibilities. You can apply this to anything. Look at an object on your desk, say a coffee cup. Ask yourself, what if it was 10 times bigger? What if it could fly? What if it was made of chocolate? These questions might seem silly, but they're exercising your imagination. Use this for your English practice. When you learn a new word, ask what-if questions about it. Let's say you learn the word dragon. What if dragons were real and lived in your city? What would they eat? Where would they sleep? Write a short story about it. This is much more fun and memorable than just writing down the definition. Tip 5. Combine a walk with daydreaming. Many creative people say their best ideas come when they're walking. A walk gets you out of your usual environment, and the movement can help clear your mind and stimulate new thoughts. But don't just walk. Let yourself daydream. Daydreaming isn't a waste of time. It's a powerful creative tool. It's when your mind makes surprising connections. J.K. Rowling said many of her best ideas for Harry Potter came from daydreaming. So, schedule a creative walk. Leave your phone in your pocket. Don't listen to a podcast. Just walk and let your mind wander. Let your thoughts flow freely without judgment. For your English practice, you can try to describe what you see around you in your head in simple English sentences. The tree is tall. The leaves are green. A dog is running. It's a simple, relaxing way to practice. I know you're busy. It can be hard to find time for new activities. So, I want to give you a list of very short, simple exercises. Think of these as a 5-minute creative workout for your brain. You can do one of these each day. They're quick, easy, and surprisingly effective. Workout 1. The Alternative Uses Test. This is a classic creativity exercise. Choose a common object. For example, a paperclip, a brick, or a shoe. Now, set a timer for 3 minutes. In those 3 minutes, write down as many different uses for that object as you can. Think beyond the obvious use. For a paperclip, you might write, "Hold papers together." But then keep going. Reset an electronic device. Bend it into a hook, a tiny antenna, a lockpick in a movie. Link them together to make a chain. This exercise trains your brain to think flexibly. For your English practice, try to write your list in English. It's a great way to practice vocabulary. Workout 2. Daily photo and a creative caption. Your phone is a creative tool. Each day, take one photo of something you find interesting. It doesn't have to be a beautiful landscape. It can be a crack in the sidewalk, a strange shadow, or a colorful leaf. The goal is to notice the small details of your day. Then, give that photo a creative caption in English. Don't just describe what it is. Try to be imaginative. If you took a photo of a crack in the sidewalk, your caption could be, "A river for ants," or "Where the world is breaking." This combines visual observation with creative writing. Workout 3. The incomplete drawing. You don't need to be an artist for this. In your notebook, close your eyes and draw a random scribble or a simple shape. Now, open your eyes. Look at the shape. Your challenge is to turn that random shape into a drawing of something. Maybe your scribble looks a little like a cloud, so you add a sun. Maybe your circle can become the eye of a strange monster, so you draw the rest of its face. The point isn't to create a masterpiece. The point is to force your brain to find meaning in something random. Workout 4. Start a story with a writing prompt. Sometimes the hardest part is just starting. A writing prompt gives you that start. It's just a short phrase that begins a story. You can find thousands online, or you can make your own. For example, the doorbell rang, but when I opened the door, nobody was there. Then I looked down and saw a small wooden box. Set a timer for 5 minutes and just write. Don't worry about grammar or spelling. Just let the ideas flow. What's in the box? Who left it? What happens next? This exercise helps you overcome the fear of the blank page. Workout 5. Listen and draw. This exercise connects your listening skills with your creativity. Put on a piece of music, ideally instrumental music you haven't heard before. As you listen, take a piece of paper and a pen. Your task is to draw what the music makes you feel or see. Don't think too hard. Just let your hand move with the music. Does the music feel fast and happy? Maybe you draw bright, sharp lines. Does it feel slow and sad? Maybe you draw soft, flowing shapes. The drawing doesn't have to look like anything specific. It's about translating sound into a visual form. This is a wonderful way to relax and tap into your emotions. Before we finish, let's quickly review some important words from today. I'll say the word and give you a simple definition. Try to repeat the word after me. Let's begin. Creativity. Pause for repetition. Creativity is the ability to use your imagination to create new ideas or things. For example, using different vegetables to make a new kind of soup is an act of creativity. Imagination. Pause for repetition. Imagination is the ability to form pictures or ideas in your mind of new and exciting things. For example, a good book helps you use your imagination to see the world of the story. To think outside the box. Pause for repetition. This is an idiom. It means to think in a new and different way. For example, to solve this puzzle, you need to think outside the box. To brainstorm. Pause for repetition. To brainstorm means to think of many ideas for a specific purpose, usually very quickly. Let's brainstorm some ideas for our holiday. Eureka moment. Pause for repetition. A eureka moment is that sudden feeling of discovery when you finally understand something or find the solution to a problem. For example, I was in the shower when I had a eureka moment and finally understood the grammar rule. Practicing these words will help you talk about creativity in English. Try to use one this week. We've covered so much today, and I'm proud of you for taking this time for yourself. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to try some of these ideas. Now, I have a question for you. I would love for us to build a community of creative learners right here. So please tell me in the comments below, what is one small creative thing you will try to do this week? It could be one of the exercises we talked about, or it could be your own idea. Maybe you'll try a new recipe, write a short poem, or take a different path on your walk. By sharing your idea, you can inspire other people in our community. I'll read every single comment. And if you found this lesson helpful, please click that like button. It really helps our channel reach more English learners like you. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our next listening practice video. Your support means the world. And feel free to share this video with a friend who might need a little creative inspiration too. Thank you so much for joining me today. We've learned that creativity isn't a rare talent for artists. It's a basic human skill that we all have. It's the ability to see the world with fresh eyes, find new solutions, and make our lives and our English learning more exciting. We've identified the common blockers that hold us back, like fear, routine, and self-doubt, and we've learned that we can overcome them. Most importantly, we now have a toolbox full of practical tips and simple daily exercises to start building our creative muscle. Please remember to be patient and kind to yourself. Building a new habit takes time. Some days you'll feel super creative, and other days you might not. That is completely normal. The important thing is to keep playing, keep experimenting, and keep being curious. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are proof that you're trying. Your English learning journey is a marathon, not a sprint. By bringing creativity into your practice, you make that journey more joyful and something you can stick with. You're not just learning a language, you're growing as a person. Now, to help you practice your speaking and pronunciation, we'll do a short shadowing exercise. I'll say some key sentences from today's lesson. Listen carefully, and then repeat each sentence aloud after me. Try to copy my intonation. Ready? Let's begin. Sentence 1. Do you ever feel a little stuck? Sentence 2. Creativity is the ability to see things in a new way. Sentence 3. Everyone can be creative. Sentence 4. Creativity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Sentence 5. Mistakes are a necessary part of the process. Sentence 6. A small change can wake up your brain. Sentence 7. Give yourself permission to be imperfect. Sentence 8. Keep an idea journal to capture your thoughts. Sentence 9. Curiosity is the engine of creativity. Sentence 10. This exercise trains your brain to think flexibly. Sentence 11. Be patient and kind to yourself. Sentence 12. I am exploring my creativity. Excellent work! You can come back to this part of the video anytime to practice your speaking. Thank you again for spending your valuable time with me. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep creating. I'm Victor, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. Goodbye for now.